Alright guys, well, I'm back today with a sword blade slash machete review from Honshu. This is the Spartan blade, and this thing is awesome, guys. If you're not familiar with this brand, Bud K, CH Cadel's, and a bunch of those places sell it. They actually reached out to me and wanted me to try out some of the Honshu blades. So I suggested this and another sword, and we'll be testing them out, and I've already finished the testing on this Spartan blade, and man, am I impressed at this little guy. And I say little, it is darn big, but little when it comes to being a sword. So it's kind of this hybrid little guy that I think is going to be fun and slightly practical for certain applications. So let's take it out of the box and look. The first thing I want to talk about is the quality. When you pull this out, you definitely get a good quality leather sheath. It straps in at the top and around the Tang. You can see it's got an opening right here to insert the blade, and everything goes in good and it locks up really solid. It doesn't kind of wobble around in there, and it feels very nice. Let's take a closer look at the blade itself and talk about its performance after using it a little bit. The blade itself is 16.5 inches long, and underneath the blade right here on the Tang, this is actually not sharp. It really does have a thick tang, allowing it to be pretty durable. The steel itself is actually a stainless steel 7CR13 steel, and it seems to hold up pretty well. As you can see in the intro, I started chopping rope with it against wood on flat faces over and over again, and I actually did that shot multiple times at different angles to get the best lighting. And the blade itself still remains laser sharp, and I actually cut all of those water bottles after chopping up that rope and pounding against the wood. It was so easy to cut that rope with this blade. When I started cutting the rope to zip tie everything up for that thick rope test that I'll talk about in a second, I found that it was incredibly difficult, almost impossible to cut with a knife. So it actually took a good amount of force to chop through that. The combination of the way this blade and handle was weighted, along with the fact that it's got a really large cutting surface with a razor sharp edge, allows me to cut through that rope with ease. I wasn't swinging hard at all. Also, I really like the fact that this is kind of weighted and balanced at the end, makes this almost a good chopper. Not necessarily a machete, but if you want to clear thicker brush or things like that, it's balanced nicely and you get a good hold of it, and it will actually protect your hands from whatever you're chopping with this very thick guard right here. It seems fairly ergonomic. It's got this weird combination of rubber and plastic with really aggressive texturing on the side, so you're not going to lose your grip. It's got some finger grooves up here to get a good hold on, and a swell down here to keep it firmly in place with your hand, as well as a brass lanyard hole to attach a rope or lanyard or something like that. It's also got texturing on the back, and also if you wanted to do fine work, I guess you could potentially actually choke up here if you wanted to do a little bit more fine work if you were trying to cut something a little bit smaller. It's got a blood groove running down the side, a back cut right here, and again you can see how thick the Tang is, and some lightning holes. I presume that is just for looks, not really lashing. I don't think you'd ever want to lash this to something. It also has a backwards grind right here. It does not come to an edge, but again, you can see the Tang thins up a little bit towards the end, and this thing handles and balances incredibly nicely. Also, you can see in the intro, we are chopping water bottles with ease. And man, this sliced through them with no problem whatsoever. Sometimes when I'm chopping up water bottles and stuff for reviews like this, I have to swing incredibly quick to make it through. This was effortless, and man, it came razor sharp out of the box. The other thing I want to talk about is the fact when I bundled up the 4 pieces of rope together, this chopped through it no problem. So I'm going to say the primary purpose of this guy is for thicker brush and to chop through things, almost kind of hack through things rather than slice through things. I think you're going to get a good hold on it. It's going to be fun and really cool to just kind of mess around with. And again, it does have some practical purposes when it comes to clearing thicker brush. I hope this gives you a good overview of the Honshu Spartan blade. And if you guys want to see anything else by Honshu, please leave them in the comments below. We'll get it out here and test it and see how it performs. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.